Welcome to Sketch Club. My name's Jason Meyer. I'm the host of the show. Often during the show, I'm joined by my daughter Isabella, or my wife Cindy. So I wanted to take a few minutes for those of you who don't know or are new to the Sketch Club and introduce to you what we do here. First of all, there's absolutely no need to impress anybody. You don't have to impress your children, your husband, your grandchildren, your wife. No, but you don't have to impress your dog. I would suggest approaching this as if you were taking a walk, right? Let's just go out, take a stroll. When we're done with it. Not to finish a sketch or anything else. Just for some people, it's going to be a way to relax, get away from everybody. For others, you could use it as a way to bring the family together. And although you don't have to, we do welcome you sharing your work with us. We would love watch and support your growth on your sketching journey. So you can post your work in the comments below if you feel like it. And lastly, there's absolutely no right way or wrong way to do this. Okay? Get a marker, get some junk mail, a pen, a pencil, paper, whatever. Just going to be doing some sketching, okay? With that being said, I'd like to take a minute, though, and share with you my general approach. So I do, by the way, work from the perspective of a painter. So I'm thinking in terms of mass rather than in terms of line. So we'll jump over to the iPad and take a look at my approach in the 3 minutes we have before our club starts tonight. Basically a 4-step approach, and this is very, very general. The first step is, how am I going to move across the canvas? So if we're drawing these tubes of paint, right there, I might think of that. So the direction, the movement across the canvas. And then I'm going to start to mass those in, try to feel them out side to side. So I can feel the entire tube there, and then that next tube's got to come off this way, doesn't it? So I come down, and that tube overlaps, and it's headed almost straight up. And then we're going to jump over, and this is going to be quite a bit smaller back here because it's so far away. Okay, so I did my movement and my gesture. Then I lightly masked in. Now I'm going to go back and think about shadow. So if the light's coming in from this side, and we can tell because there's a highlight, right where the highlight is, so the shadow's on this side. A little bit there. The black cap, that can help us out. The black cap. Shadow onto the table underneath there. On top of that, so let's make sure we show that. Shadow over here. Okay, something like that. And I do like to work on toned paper, and if you've got something that's white to make a mark with, that can really help, because then you can come back with your highlights and help spell that. But again, just try to feel it out. Do it your own way if this doesn't make any sense to you. And have some fun. So that would be my general sketch, more or less. Not trying to finish anything. Again, just stretching our muscles. So I hope you'll grab something to mark with, something to make a mark with, something to make a mark on. Hide away in a room or bring your family together. And let's get sketching. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in Sketch Club. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sketch Club. We tried to start this a few weeks ago, and had some technical difficulties. Took us a few weeks to get those sorted out, and hopefully they are sorted out. We're about to find out. So, hello, Shakti, Claudia, Susan, Lori. Thanks for being here.
And Tom. Hi, Tom.
Tom's here. I think I saw an old friend from high school, Tim. So tonight we're going to do 4 5-minute sketches, and we're doing a few little different objects tonight, so this should be fun. So let's get going. Let's get the music off there before we get run off of Facebook. So a few tubes of paint over to a bottle of medium. How are we going to move across the canvas? Right? The general gesture. And by the way, I'm going to make the near tube to paint much larger and then make things smaller as they go back. Now I'm going to just kind of lightly mass in, fill them out. Remember, we want to try to be loose as we can. Not going in any museum. Okay, tonight I'm working with charcoal. Started with some vine charcoal, and now I'm going to more of a stick charcoal, a little harder charcoal. And again, I'm just feeling the volume of it. I'm going around it. It's full at the top and then flat at the bottom. Trying to show that along with the direction that it's traveling. Give it a little shadow. The black tube top, lid. And then how does that second tube interact? And again, I want to make that second one smaller, right? So that it looks like it's further back. If you see something else or want to go for something else, go for it. I'm just kind of showing you what I'm looking at and what I'm going for. Hey, Deb's here.
Hi, Deb.
Yes, Cindy got a hello.
Thanks, Mom.
And Deb representing Canada.
Karen popped on too.
Oh, hey, Karen.
Deb, you have a fellow person from Ontario. Yeah, Karen is from there as well.
So pretty quick, 5 minutes isn't a lot of time. And that's the idea. Don't be sitting around thinking about it. Just get your hand moving. Train your eye to see the biggest, simplest movements. And we've got to simplify. Here I'm trying to represent that jagged edge and get some light and dark. Where is Karen from?
Whoa, I'm trying to remember. Richmond Hill, I think. Karen, you're gonna have to help me. My brain's a tad foggy. We just ate.
All right, so just reinforcing my shadow here. And since this is near, I'm going to try to get a little darker and do a little more here. And so we can really, even in this quick little 5 minutes, get a real sense of distance, right? A feeling of space. And the viewer gets to go on a nice little walk from the bottom left corner up to the top right corner. Oh, okay, about 3 hours. Right on. That's about us to LA,
yeah,
or us to San Francisco. In the neighborhood, anyway. In the neighborhood. The direction of those ovals will tell you about the direction the tube's laying. This one's got to be extra short. I think I do it too long, about 3 or 4 times, just because of the perspective to really lay it down. And then that bottle of medium, that's tiny over there. Just a little shadow on the label and the indicated the dark lid. So if you've got charcoal, you've got dark. You're working on toned paper. There's 2 values. And then if you have something white, there's 3 values. That's all you need. For anybody who doesn't know, value is just how light or dark something is. Kate Albert Stumberg. Welcome, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
And a couple highlights. So we're finishing up on this one. Again, 5 minutes isn't very long, but we're just stretching our muscles, stretching our muscles. You like the tubes of paint? Thanks. All right, so what's next? What's next? How about this to shake it up? Why don't we draw some piles of paint? Draw some piles of paint. Are you drawing, Deb, or are you just watching? Deb said that she loved the tubes of paint. I wonder if those that are trying to draw it love it as much as you do.
Are your ears burning? Like cursing your name.
Sometimes I can hear them right now in this one too. What the holy heck? So again, I'm laying out the general thing, the general pattern here. We've got fresh off the tube piles there, and then some piles that have been mixed up with the palette knife. But I'm still going to try to get an overall design, almost a triangle, right? All stretched out of turkey dinner. Excellent. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. We're still glad you're loving it. But I was kind of, nobody came to your backup, so I was wondering what they were doing, if they were feeling the same way. Okay, so a diagonal, almost like a triangle opening up from one side to the other. And that'll be the big design on which I place all of these piles. Right, and this one's a little more geometric, right? Straight out of the tube, still got that cylinder feeling. And then we got to differentiate that from the stuff that's been mixed with the palette knife and flattened out. That first diagonal is just the glass palette. And I think it helps to ground all the rest of this organic stuff. If you just put those piles in without the cylinders or without that straight edge, it might be a little oofy. Oh, near Aurora and Serena. Is that closer, Deb? Okay, again, I'm just kind of massing in, and then even on these little flat piles, there are some light and shadow. And I realize that may be a little small for you guys. When we're done here, I'll pull this full screen, so if you want to draw it, you can pause it there and draw. Oh, looks like they're in the same place. Okay, how's your guys' sketches going? Are you showing that junk mail who's boss? Take that big Sharpie to that junk mail. All right, and then there's the little highlights. It's going to really help out. It's amazing. It can look kind of nothingness, and then all of a sudden it'll start pulling together. But again, you know, we're not expecting to get, right, somebody to pay us $1 million, hold on to it for 500 years. No. Just a little walk around the block. Just a little walk around the block. And then I can differentiate the light paint from the dark paint by darker masses and lighter masses. Okay, but even those flat masses are going to cast very small shadows. It's a long 5 minutes. This is our second one. This is probably the second one's a long 5 minutes to you. I know if you don't have anything to grab onto, notice that highlight down there in that corner. Hang in there, Shakti. Hang on there. We're gonna change in a minute.
Deb asked what the white.
What is that white chalk? It's just probably a white chalk, either a white chalk charcoal or pastel. Sometimes I use Conte. Almost anything to make a white mark. You should be able to get it at your local hobby store. Find something. Even like white pastel will work out. All right, did that stretch you guys a little bit? What in the world? All right, I can feel it. We're gonna
Shakti's
switch
like,
it up.
Phew.
We'll switch it up here. How about a little b-ball, huh? How about a little basketball? Now remember, we've only got 5 minutes. Only got 5 minutes, so we gotta be quick about this.
Look at that fierce girl.
See, now we get a little bit smaller here. There we go. Grandma's cheering on Izzy. Grandma says, yeah. So again, just kind of massing in. And I want her head forward, her torso going back through space, one of the legs continuing back, the other leg coming forward a little bit and then straight down, the one arm coming forward, the other one. And I want that ball in movement. And I want it within 5 minutes. You heard me. You heard me. Volumes in space, movement, direction. 5 minutes, action.
We're laying it down tonight.
I know. But just go for it. Go for it. Again, it doesn't even matter if it doesn't turn out, but just try to feel what's going on. Right? This isn't going to make you better in one evening, but kind of doing this throughout, the months and the years, you really start understanding the visual logic of things. And again, you're training your eye to see things quickly and simply. Most of us see detail first. The painter, the artist, has to see the big movements first, the overall scene, the composition, right? Every detail is in service to the composition. Ultimately, it's all about beauty. It's not about copying, making a facsimile. It's about beauty. And I can't draw a basketball. I can't draw somebody playing basketball. I can draw dark marks. I can leave the paper blank, and I can draw light marks, and I can give those marks edges and shapes. So what I'm doing is I'm designing those marks, right? But based on this reference. I know, a little bit deep. This is supposed to be like a walk, Jason. All right, I'll loosen up. Not physics class. But again, we want to inspire. We want to aspire to have life in our drawings, right? And we want that life to be there from the beginning. From the beginning. It's not something that you can put 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 marks on a canvas and then at the very end put one more mark and it all comes to life. It's got to be alive all the way through. Okay? So, just a hint as to what you look for. You'll see what you look for. See what you look for. Not only that, you'll only see what you look for. Oh, right on. I'm so glad to hear that, Deb. Deb says this is making sense to her. Good.
Great.
And it's a looser way to work, right? So when we're trying out ideas and everything, we don't want to get all uptight and spend all of our energy getting everything exact. We want to feel things out, right? Loosen up our mind, loosen up our body, our hand. Start thinking in terms of dark marks, of light marks, of volumes going through space of relationships. Right? It's important that that hand is in that strong diagonal relationship to her face. Action, right? And that one foot is planting on the ground. See, I gave it a little shadow there. A highlight here and there. Some shadows. Crazy, crazy. How you doing on this one, Shakti? Is this a short 5 minutes or a long 5 minutes? Okay, so top plane of the head. Again, I'm thinking of direction and lights and planes and the direction the plane's facing. I know if you've never seen or heard this before, it may look like I'm just throwing marks down. But they're really based on showing what's underneath those marks, right? And coming up with a good design. And this one, these marks have to be active. This is an active scene. What kind of marks are active? Diagonals, curves. Uh-oh, looks like that's all we got on this one, guys. That was fun, huh? That was fun. So what is next? See, is Susan here tonight? If she's not, she'll like this when she gets to it.
I think she's here.
Is she here? Oh, yeah, you said hi, Susan. I remember. Sorry, we got a little bow. But just don't draw a bow. Draw him across the room. Right? Draw him across the room. So I'm going to just find some of those big volumes right now, but notice I set him up away from the bottom of the canvas or the paper, the stuff we're marking on. With dogs, if you can see their nose, there's usually a couple of triangles, one for the top plane and one for the front plane, that can help you orient them. And then you can orient the dark eyes from that. And again, it's 5 minutes. I know it's not pretty. Come on, give me a break. I'm tired. I set up the cameras. I set up the shots. I set up the lighting. Then I set up the timer. And then we start recording. And like, this is 20 minutes in. Woo! I know. It's effort. So be generous. Be generous. Show me your drawing. And if it's better, then you can start being mean. But after that, you got to give me a little leeway. Besides, I end up pulling this one off a little bit. So any of you guys that are new, what I do is I actually record the drawing. I recorded this a little earlier today because it is too hard to try to draw, run a live stream, and talk and tell you what I'm drawing at the same time. I've tried it, and it's hard. Halloween dog. Are you calling my dog scary? What are you saying, Deb?
Is this the one from
That's
today?
funny.
Is he wearing the bow tie?
No, that's just his collar and his thing. Like I said, those proportions are hard. So Deb thinks it's a Halloween dog. All right. Yeah, well, it's October, so yep, Halloween dog. And if I know Izzy and Cindy, that dog will have a costume on at some point, so yep.
We have looked at some.
All right. Again, trying to find the big volumes and how they fit together on here, right? His hindquarters versus his torso. And does that have kind of a gesture? Yeah, it comes out. Those front legs are planting, holding that up, right? His back legs are ready to spring. Is that tail wagging? Probably. If it's Bo, it's probably wagging if he's not asleep. So, and then we're giving some volume or adding light and shadow to it, which creates that volume or helps create the volume. Helps create the volume. This is the last one. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Right? So we got just under 4 minutes left on this one. And now I'm kind of making note of a near surface and doing some little light dark pattern. And notice I'm doing this not straight across, but in kind of diagonals to help your eye walk back. Right? It doesn't have to be straight, too rigid. We're not fence builders. But you do want to give them a certain movement, right? And not make it too wild. Not make it too wild. And then that's more of a distant mark back there. All right, so tonight, I think it's a good idea when I do fast forward from the beginning to the end. And I intended to do that last time, and I keep forgetting. So, I'm going to put it on you guys to help remind me. Because we're so close, but my mind can go a lot of places in 2 minutes, so could be way far away. Again, just light and dark down there. Right. I know it's my daughter and my dog. If I can do this to them, you should be able to sketch, right? They don't have to see it. They don't have to see it. But what it is we want to learn to find the doingness of the thing rather than the little details. We want to show the doingness first, right? What is this vase doing? What is this basketball player doing? What are these piles of paint doing? Are they moving? Are they stagnant? Are they in air? Right? Is air enveloping them? Are they in oxygen? Can they breathe? The better questions you ask, the better problems you'll solve. Right? So the most important thing is not how you make your marks or exactly how you do it, but it's what you're trying to do, what you're trying to show. Right? So the real skill of the artist is judgment in editing, is what you're leaving out, what you're putting in, and how you put it in. Right? It's not who can copy the best. And so this is nothing to do with copying, but we want to try to get a feeling of the doingness of whatever we're looking at.
That's me.
Uh-oh, is she not able to find us?
She went to connect.
Yeah, we changed locations tonight. I have a small class that don't tell them, but I've been experimenting on them. Figuring out how to do all this stuff. So, what you're seeing tonight, those guys paid the price for it. They paid the price for it. All right, so cast shadow on the floor. It really anchor the thing, the form shadows. And yeah, it's not a perfect portrait. You're not going to be able to do surgery from that drawing. But you got a general feeling of a dog, and in 5 minutes, that's not too bad. And he's standing across the room from you. So, bam. All right, well, should we go through the whole thing tonight and see what we did?
Yes.
All right, so let's just get rid of us for a second. This is always fun, is kind of watching them disappear and come to life. But also, I think the more you can have this in your eye, the more you'll understand kind of some of these abstract starts. Again, just the movement across the canvas, lightly massing in, then coming back and trying and feeling out the volume from the flat, shadow, little highlight to help us out, and that was that. Okay, so our first drawing of the paint tubes, movement, mass in, shadow, light, and we move on. And what are we moving on to? Piles of paint. So you see how we've got the whole thing in there already. What do I mean by the whole thing? Well, I've got the top of the painting, the bottom of the painting, the direction. So we're working from big to small. Big to small, and then we put the little details within the big movements. All right, you guys are good sports. Feels like I just felt a light go out. I hope it wasn't your enthusiasm. All right, and then what do we got? We got the kid playing basketball. Woo, woo. All right, look at that. Action. But what happened there? What happened? Well, again, we're just kind of massing the general overall shape out, top to bottom, left to right, big to small, and the direction in space. And then we start laying in the details within that. Okay, so we're going to mass it in. We're going to do some shadow. We're going to do some light. And our 5 minutes is up, and we're on to the pup. Again, try to find those anchor points. In the dog, the dark nose and the eyes are good anchor points. And then relate back. Put it in space, dark and light. And that's that. So one more look at Bo, and we'll call it an evening. So again, no right way, no wrong way. Do what you want. If you like what you have, or if you just like to share, we'd love it if you posted your drawings in the comments below. But if not, if you're embarrassed or don't want to share it, you can crumple them up and throw them in the trash, and nobody ever had to know you even tried. And then come back Tuesday, because we're going to do this again. So every Sunday night, we do 5-minute poses, Tuesday nights, and that's at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We do 10-minute poses, 2 10-minute poses.
Yeah.
Thursday night, we do 1 20-minute pose. All right, so grab some sketch pad and join us back here Tuesday. For those of you in class, we'll see you in the morning for our Zoom. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you guys later.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Susan.